Hello, good morning. Today we are going to start with a TYBSc optional paper, biochemistry. Under that, we are going to start with carbohydrates chemistry. So let me share my screen of the carbohydrate chemistry. So let us come to know what are carbohydrates. Yes, these are the naturally occurring compounds containing carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen elements. They are present in all living organisms. They are also called as saccharides. So, as per the modern definition trend, so they are the polyhydroxyaldehyde, means many OH group along with aldehyde group as a functional group, or polyhydroxyketones, means many OH groups along with ketone as a functional group, or the compounds which on hydrolysis gives polyhydroxyaldehydes or polyhydroxyketones. So they have empirical formula CH2O by bracket by N. Hence, in the olden days, they were defined as hydrates of carbon. In olden days, they were defined as hydrates of carbon. So this is all regarding what are carbohydrates. Let us come to know classification of carbohydrates. Yes, they are classified into three main classes: monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides. Monosaccharides again gets classified into two types: aldoses and ketoses. Oligosaccharides into three types: disaccharide, trisaccharide, tetrasaccharides. And of course, polysaccharides are classified into homopolysaccharide and heteropolysaccharides. Let us come to know what are monosaccharides. Yes, they are the simplest sugars containing 3 to 8 carbons. What is the characteristic? They cannot further hydrolyze into smaller molecules. Very good examples are glucose and fructose. Glucose is aldohexose, that is contain aldehyde group. Fructose is ketohexose. Glucose and fructose both are having same molecular formula C6H12O6, but are isomers of each other. They possess different. Here glucose contain aldehyde as a functional group, so it is a hexahydraldehyde, and this is a pentahydric along with ketone as a functional group. Correct. So oligosaccharide. So they contain 2 to 10 monosaccharides. These units are joined together by glycosidic linkages. Oligosaccharide on hydrolysis gives 2 to 10 molecules of monosaccharide. So depending upon the number of the molecules getting on hydrolysis, they are classified into disaccharide, trisaccharide, and tetrasaccharide. So what are disaccharides? Yes, carbohydrates which on hydrolysis gives two molecules of monosaccharides are called as disaccharides. For example, sucrose, maltose, lactose, all they are having formula C12H22O11, but they are having difference in the structures. That's why they are isomers of each other. Trisaccharides, carbohydrates which on hydrolysis gives three molecules of monosaccharides are called as trisaccharides. For example, raffinose. So they are present in sugar beets. So its formula is C18H32O16. Tetrasaccharides. So carbohydrates which on hydrolysis gives four molecules of monosaccharides are called as tetrasaccharides. For example, stachyose, correct? It contains 24 carbons, 42 hydrogens, and 21 oxygen. Polysaccharides. So they on hydrolysis gives large number of monosaccharides. For example, starch, cellulose, glycogen. These are the examples of polysaccharide. Now open chain structure of the glucose. Whenever there was none of the thing known, by carrying out the quantitative and analytical experiment in the laboratory, they came to know that molecular formula for glucose is C6H12O6. Now what are the evidence to support to this formula and structure? Yes, it have found in the laboratory that on acetylation glucose gives pentacetyl glucose. It indicate that 5 hydroxyl groups are present in the glucose. Some reactions carried out indicate presence of aldehyde group. For example, glucosan reaction with hydrogen cyanide gives glucose cyanoid in addition product. Glucosan reaction with hydroxylamine gives oxime derivative. Glucosan reaction with Tollin's reagent gives silver mirror test. Glucosan reaction with failing solution gives red-brown precipitate of cuprous oxide. All these reactions indicate presence of aldehyde group in the glucose structure. Some other reactions, glucosan reaction with mild oxidizing agent bromine water gives gluconic acid. Glucosan complete reduction with HI and red phosphorus gives N-hexane. So these two reactions indicate that glucose contain 6 carbon atoms in straight chain. So 5 OH groups on glucose must be present on 5 different carbons. So reaction also support this. So by considering all these, Bayer's have given open chain structure for glucose. This CHO group, which is aldehyde group, first carbon, CHOH5 boro. So 4 secondary alcoholic OH group, and last carbon is 6 number CH2OH primary alcohol group. So this is aldehyde. These 4 are secondary alcohol group, and this CH2OH is primary alcohol group. This is the open chain structure which is given by Bayer's. So this is the way by which you can remember it. Now how to represent this D plus glucose and L minus glucose? See, this is CHO, OH on right hand side on second carbon. This is third carbon, OH left side. Fourth carbon, OH right side. Fifth carbon, OH right side. And not to observe the side of this group. So these are the 4 asymmetric carbon atom. Carbon number, this is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5. These 4 carbons are asymmetric carbon atom. That's why we have to consider whether OH group is on right hand side or left hand side. Similarly here also. So D plus and L minus, what is the difference? The group which is on right hand side on second carbon you are observing on the left hand side. So mirror image. So D plus glucose and L minus glucose, Fischer projection formula is written on the group. So this is ball and stick formula. This carbon is ball and a group attached to it is taken as a stick, just like in hockey. Right? So these are the ball and stick formula for D plus and L minus. So carbon is shown by circle. Now there are some objections to open chain structure of the glucose. Glucose fails to give some reactions, and that's why they came to know that there might have some different structure, which afterward declared that it is a ring structure. Glucose also exists in ring form, which is called as glucopyranose form, glycopyranose form. Now what happens in this during the formation of this ring structure? Yes. So actually this fifth carbon oxygen lone pair attack on this first carbonyl carbon, and this CHO becomes CHOH. So that's why this rotation occurs. So OH of the fifth carbon, this is fifth carbon. This one is first carbon. So rotation occurs so that this fifth carbon OH must be in front of the first carbon, carbonyl group. So it attacks on this carbonyl carbon, lone pair of electron present on oxygen of the OH group on the fifth carbon atom attacks on the carbonyl carbon, and this becomes CHOH. This hydrogen transfers to this O, and it becomes OH. So this first carbon becomes asymmetric now. If you write OH below the plane of the ring, it is alpha D glucose or alpha D glucopyranols. And if you write the OH on the above the plane of the ring, it is beta D glucose or beta D glucopyranols. This is what to remember here. Is that clear? Now let us come to know how the remaining groups are clear. So on this 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon, the groups which are on left hand side have to be shown above the plane of the ring. See, this group is OH on third carbon. So here third carbon OH is above the plane of the ring. So in short, for this 4 carbon secondary alcoholic group, the groups which are on left hand side should be written above the plane of the ring. This is glucopyranose ring. And the groups which are on right hand side should be shown below the plane of the ring. These are the rules. Now Haworth also have proposed the same structure, alpha D glucopyranose as beta D glucopyranose. So what he did, he just shown these 4 carbons which are nearer to the observer by shaded lines. These 4 carbons which are nearer to the observer are shown by shaded line by Haworth scientists. This is done by Haworth. Now reactions of glucose. Glucose on reaction with mild oxidizing agent bromine water gives gluconic acid. What happens? This CHO on oxidation gives COOH. Rest of the carbon as it is. Aldehyde group on oxidation with bromine water gives COH. Name is D-gluconic acid. Glucose on reaction with somewhat stronger oxidizing agent dilute nitric acid gives first carbon also undergo oxidation and last carbon also undergo oxidation. So here with bromine water only first carbon undergo oxidation, not last. Here first as well as last carbon undergo oxidation. CHO on oxidation gives COH, CH2OH on oxidation gives COH. Name of this compound is glucaric acid, also called as saccharic acid. Now glucose on reduction gives sorbitol. CHO on reduction gives CH2OH. Aldehyde on reduction gives primary alcohol. This reduction is carried with sodium amalgam in water. So D-glucose on reduction with sodium amalgam in water gives D-sorbitol. D means dextrorotatory. L means levorotatory. Glucose on acetylation with acetic anhydride. This is the formula for acetic anhydride. CH3CO by 2O or acetyl chloride gives penta-acetyl glucose. See, this each OH H is replaced by AC. AC means acetyl group, COCH3. And that's why penta-O-acetyl alpha D glucose. So, or penta-acetyl derivative of glucose, alpha D glucose. So each OH H is replaced by acetyl group, AC, COCH3. This is what happens. It indicates that 5 OH groups are present in the structure of the glucose. So glucose on reaction with hydrogen cyanide, this CN minus attacks on this carbonyl carbon. And see, this CHO becomes CHOHCN. CHOHCN. So addition, nucleophilic addition occurs here. So glucose on reaction with hydrogen cyanide gives glucose cyanoate in addition product. It indicates that aldehyde group is present because reaction occurs on aldehyde group. Glucose on reaction with hydroxylamine. This is NH2OH means hydroxylamine. Condensation reaction occurs. This H2O is given out like this. And you will get in glucoxime. This H2O is given out, O, and this H2 of the hydroxylamine taken out, and this becomes CH double bond NOH. This is glucoxime. Glucose on reaction with excess of phenylhydrazine. 3 molecules of phenylhydrazine gives glucose-ozone derivative. See what happens. This is the structure of phenylhydrazine. NH2, NH2 is hydrazine. One of the hydrogen is replaced by phenyl ring. This is phenylhydrazine. So it undergo condensation reaction. First molecule undergo condensation and gives glucose phenylhydrazone. Water is given out here. Condensation reaction occurs. In second case, When second molecule of phenyladrazine attacks on this compound, glucose phenyladrazine, this second carbon undergo oxidation. This H is removed and this H is removed, and only secondary alcohol oxidation gives ketone. These two hydrogens which have given out added here, it gives aniline and ammonia. This bond broken and gives aniline and ammonia as a byproduct. Second step is oxidation. And third step, again condensation. This O, ketonic carbon, and this H2 eliminates as H2, and you will getting glucose as well. So this is how glucose reacts with three molecules of phenylhydrazine. So with first molecule condensation reaction, with second molecule oxidation, and with third molecule again condensation reaction. This is what happens. Now mutarotation. Yes, it is the property of ring compound, cyclic compound. What is mutarotation? Spontaneous change in, slow and spontaneous change in specific rotation of an optically active compound is called as mutarotation. Hence, glucose shows mutarotation. When D-glucose crystallizes from water, it shows specific rotation of plus 113 degree. It is in the form of alpha D-glucose, and when this D-glucose is crystallized from acetic acid, it gives specific rotation of plus 19 degree. Then it is in the form of beta D-glucose. So this can be shown like this. So this alpha D-glucose crystallized from acetic acid, it shows specific rotation plus 113 degree. These are interconvertible structure, correct? So this beta D glucose plus 19 degree in different solvent, but both changes to plus 52.5 degree specific rotation. That's why they are interconvertible structures. Alpha D glucose is in equilibrium with alpha D plus glucose, which is in equilibrium with beta D glucose. So these are interconvertible. This has been confirmed by an important property, physical property, mutarotation. Now structure of the sucrose disaccharides. Yes, you remember sucrose is found in sugarcane and sugar beet. In sucrose, sucrose is made up of one molecule of D-glucose and one molecule of D-fructose, or alpha D-glucopyranose and beta D-glucopyranose, beta D-fructofuranose, It is made up of one molecule of D-glucose and one molecule of fructose, D-fructose. But glucose is existing in alpha D-glucopyranose form and fructose is existing in fructofuranose form. Yes, this is the structure of sucrose you have to draw in the examination. This is glucopyranose ring. This is first carbon, OH, and here this is fructofuranose ring. This is 6-membered ring having 5 carbons in the ring and 1 oxygen. This is 5-membered ring having 1 carbon, 4 carbon in the ring and 1 oxygen. This is first carbon of the fructofuranose. This one is second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. This is fructofuranose, and this one is alpha D-glucopyranose. So here OH of the alpha D-glucopyranose and this OH of the beta D-fructofuranose, alpha D-fructofuranose, eliminates water and gives this glycosidic bond. That's why this is structure of the sucrose. You observe the structure of sucrose. This is first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon, fifth carbon, and sixth carbon of the alpha D-glucopyranose. Correct. And this one is first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon, fifth carbon, and sixth carbon of the fructofuranose. Now next is structure of maltose. Yes, it is found in starch. So starch on partial hydrolysis by enzyme amylase gives maltose. Maltose on hydrolysis gives 2 molecules of D-glucose, indicate that it is made up of 2 molecules of D-glucose. There is alpha 1,4-glycosidic linkage. This is glucopyranose ring as we know. This is also glucopyranose ring. So first carbon alpha OH and fourth carbon of the another ring alpha OH eliminates water molecule and gets connected to each other through this glycosidic bond. So there is linkage alpha 1,4 linkage. So this is the structure for maltose, which is made up of two alpha D glucopyranose ring or alpha D glucose ring. Now structure of lactose. Yes, lactose is the disaccharide present in milk. Lactose on hydrolysis gives one molecule of D-glucose and one molecule of D-galactose. This is galactose. This left hand ring is galactose and this right hand ring is glucose. So galactose, fourth OH is above the plane of the ring. And in glucose, only third OH is above the plane of the ring. Glucopyranose, third OH is above the plane of the ring. In galactose, third as well as fourth OH is above the plane of the ring. This is the difference between alpha D glucose and galactose. So in lactose, both D-glucose and galactose are in the form of alpha D glucopyranose and alpha D galactopyranose. Correct? See, this is the structure of the lactose. This is first carbon. So this must be beta. Here, this is a mistake. It is beta. Because this OH above, this galactose, first carbon, OH is above the plane of the ring. And this glucose below the plane of it. So water molecule is removed during the joint of this ring. But in the cross, this OH above the plane of the ring, this OH below the plane of the ring, fourth carbon OH of the glucose below the plane of the ring, first carbon of the galactose above the plane of the ring. That's why it is a beta. Here there must be beta written. It is a mistake, printing mistake. Now polysaccharides. Some polysaccharides on hydrolysis gives only one type of the monosaccharides. They are called as homopolysaccharide. The polysaccharides which on hydrolysis gives more than one type of the monosaccharide are called as heteropolysaccharide. So two types of the again polysaccharides, storage polysaccharide and structural polysaccharide. In storage polysaccharide, they are stored in the form of energy in living organism. For example, glycogen is stored in our body as a carbohydrate, storage polysaccharide. Similarly, starch and inulin are the another examples. Structural polysaccharides are observed in plants, cell wall of the plants. For example, cellulose chitin are the very good example of structural polysaccharide, and they give structural elements to living organism. So about structure of starch, starch is made up of two components, amylose and amylopectin. Amylose is present to the extent of 20%, amylopectin is present to the extent of 80%. Amylose is water soluble, amylopectin is water insoluble. So ultimately we may say that starch is partially soluble in water. This is the structure of amylose, in which alpha 1,4-glycosidic linkage is there. All these are the alpha D glucose units. So first carbon of the one unit is connected to another carbon, fourth carbon, another ring, fourth carbon, and this is so on. So its structure is similar to maltose. Its structure is similar to maltose, only a number of the rings are there. So alpha D 1,4 linkages are there. Its molecular weight varies from few thousand to 1,50,000. It contains about more than 100 D glucose units. So you have to do the dash 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 so that so many repeating units are there. More than 100 D glucose units are there. In amylopectin, along with this alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkages, there are also alpha 1,6 glycosidic linkages. What is the difference between amylose and amylopectin? In amylose, there are more than 100 alpha D glucose units. Here, more than 1,000 alpha D glucose units. That's why molecular weight for amylopectin is 5 lakh or more. Here, molecular weight is in few thousands to 1.5 lakhs. So this is amylopectin. This is 1,4-alpha-1,4-glycosidic linkage. One row, alpha-1,4-glycosidic linkage, another row, correct? And these two are connected by 1,6 linkage. So this is the first carbon of one of the alpha-D glucose unit, and this is the sixth carbon of the parallel chain. So by both condensation occurs and the CH2OH OH and this HOH eliminates water molecule and gives alpha-1,6 glycosidic linkage. Thus this is the alpha-1,6 glycosidic linkage, and these are the alpha-1,4 glycosidic linkages. This is the structure of amylopectin. So this is the difference between amylose and amylopectin structure. This is amylose, only 100D unit. And this one is amylopectin, one more additional linkage, alpha-1,6 glycosidic linkage. See this structure. Now structural polysaccharides. Cellulose is the most abundant structural polysaccharide present in plants. It is found in cell walls of the plants. Chitin and pectin are very good examples. Correct. Cellulose is major component of wood, we know. Cotton is almost pure cellulose. So structure of cellulose. So similar, it is just, this is beta linkage, nothing more than beta-1,4-glycosidic linkage. It is made up of large number of glucose unit. But glucose is beta, means OH is above the plane of the ring. First carbon OH is always above the plane of the ring. That's why this first carbon OH, which is above the plane of the ring, of the one ring, and this OH which is below the plane of the ring, fourth carbon OH. So from this water molecule is removed. That's why it is shown in cross, means beta linkage. So this is about the structure of the cellulose. Starch and cellulose both are homopolysaccharides made up of D-glucose units. The only difference is of glycosidic linkage between D-glucose units. Because of alpha-1,4 linkages, starch can be easily hydrolyzed by acids. But because of beta-1,4 linkages, cellulose cannot be hydrolyzed by acids. So cellulose does not undergo easy hydrolysis to D-glucose, but starch undergo easy hydrolysis to D-glucose. This is because of the linkages present. In starch, there is alpha-1,4 glycosidic and 1,6 glycosidic linkage, which can be hydrolyzed by acids. But in cellulose, only beta linkages are there. They are difficult to hydrolyze. So that's why we can't eat cellulose. Otherwise, our digestive system is not having habit to digest its cellulose. Otherwise, there is no any food problems. Thank you.